Hoffa.
Oh, heart so cold. They think I sold my soul. Like I would ever sell my soul. No, they wanna know how I'm so cold with it. My niggas see me and say, bro, did it. My diamonds dancing got them so livid. If you a hater, man, I
might have fucked a couple big bitches, but I never fuck with jealousy. Niggas talking like a op, keep the same energy. Homie said we crew still, but Brody just a friend of me. I don't fuck with you still, you know I got a memory.
I never changed like Hov said. You can't relate if you never slept on a cold bed. You wasn't plucking roaches off of mold bread with holes in your pro-cads. I was only a teen, but felt more like an old head.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.
So Kevin Lyle stepped down from 300. Kaz Kobayashi stepped down as the president, CEO of Warner Music Japan. Nicki Minaj throwing shade at Atlantic Records.
Saying what?
UPS is hiring. Academic says he'll take the entire industry down. Convicted of rape. Capital Music Group co-president Arjun Pujaji steps down. Julie Greenwald stepped down.
Michael Keyz
stepped down. Natalie Moore steps down. PR image sharper after Diddy's arrest.
Yes,
she got out the paint.
She got out.
Sony Music Nashville chairman Randy, whatever his last name is, stepped down.
The industry is imploding.
Yeah, he's just getting the fuck out of here.
It's dying right in front of our face. Why? It's crazy.
It's over, I think.
There's a bunch of...
You think it's over? It's completely over?
I think they will not be handing out checks.
They're slowly but surely dying.
And I think a new one is going to come out.
No, the industry.
A new industry is going to come out? Industry. This is all going to die, and a new industry is going to come out.
You're just seeing a changing of the guard. The industry is not going to die. That's impossible. Hopefully, we can do it a different way. Hopefully, we can. After this burns down, we can take what's left and build something better.
But what is the music industry at this point anyway? Because what does a label really do these days?
That's part of the problem. We've gone too far. We've gone
easy
too
with
far.
the R word.
We've gone too far in one direction to just fix what's wrong. The core plumbing of it is messed up.
Can anyone even get signed right now?
Yeah, you can get signed, but what are you willing to do for the deal? And in other words, what are you willing to give up to be signed?
But what are you being signed for? What's the point of having a label?
Because you don't have,
that label is putting a bunch of money into that artist.
That's the point. Yeah. Okay, let's not get it fucked up. Labels still have the money. They still have the access. They still know the... Yes, they have more than you.
Radio?
As an independent artist, they have more than you. They know who to call and where to spend, which is key. I can give you $100,000 in drug money until you go out here and get busy. And the problem is you'll spend with this dude, and be half down and still not be anywhere. If I'm the label, I know who to call.
I think
I know the guys who make it pop.
The advantages are they have the statistics. They know who's pulling in what. They know who to reach out to. A lot of times I've been told that it doesn't make sense going to this label. You could just talk to this person because they the one that do this for them, and you could just cut around. And that's how that person got that position in, because they became efficient at marketing, promotion, whatever it is.
But then you got to hope. The issue is that, okay, now the person you just ducked around and the guy that you went to, and because he set that whole situation up, his biggest client is still the label. So if you went around and you cut the label out and they say, okay, you can work with him, but we got like 8 more of him. So you can work with that and get that one check. We have 8 of those. Go ahead, though. Go ahead, go off.
Right.
You turn around and be like, you or the other 8 size checks and consistent work.
But depending
I'm going over here.
Depending on who it is in the relationship, you never know what they're getting paid at the label might not be the same amount of money that you're willing to put up.
It's one thing to get one certain amount of money, one bag. It's another thing to have 8 bags. It's one thing to work with one artist, it's another thing to work with 8. It's another thing to work with one artist who you banking on and you hope you get along with. It's another thing to work with 8 that you kind of don't get along with, but the money's consistent. And if you have a family at home, you don't want to have to make those decisions, especially since everybody believes as soon as this one guy that you're helping off the arm, gets on, he's gonna replace you with somebody else. He's gonna run and get somebody else and leave you behind. Because one thing everybody knows about artists is when they make it, it's their fault. When they fail, it's your fault. And unfortunately, I'm not saying that's always true, but unfortunately, that's the narrative that most of these executives go through. So I'm telling you how they're gonna look at it. Security, job security, 9 times out of 10 is found at a label. It's not found independent. You can get lucky and get like a Macklemore, you might find the guy who breaks through and goes to the promised land, but if you got a wife and kids, your wife don't want to hear that you spending bread on this kid and hope that he blows.
But I kind of disagree with that, because when I think about being at a label and executives and the changing of the guards and how it's just always this cycle of like you there for a couple years and then you got to find another job. When you build yourself and you yourself have the access that you need to whatever, because even thinking about label execs these days, right, when they still have a publicity department that's, nurturing their relationships with magazines that don't even matter anymore. Or they'll have, their radio people talking to terrestrial radio when, I don't know about y'all, I mean, I don't really listen to the radio anymore.
A lot of people still do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like the game has changed. A lot of executives are really just chasing numbers, right? They're looking at social media numbers. You got to build that up yourself. So what is a label doing if I got to do all the work and then you want to come in, unless you have, again, a bag for me? I'm not, if I was an artist, what would be the incentive to sign into a label?
Sounds good. That sounds good. It sounds great. But Kim, you and I have decades in the business where we've built up these networks and we know who to call and know what to do. These kids we're talking about do not. And they're coming off the block. They're coming off of corners. They're coming off of little opportunities. Maybe they're coming out of college. They're desperate. Hold on.
I beg to differ on that. I beg to differ on that.
Even if they're not desperate to the point of I'll do anything,
right?
They don't have everything we're talking about doing costs, with the exception of building up your social media network, and that takes a long time and money. Meanwhile, a label represents jumping you to the top of whatever. They can get you ahead faster. Now, you want to build your shit up on some Russ? Russ right now is killing everything moving. Everybody sees the sexy part, the end, that he's like this independent god and he's a giant, he's doing his thing and God bless him. They forget that it took like 10 years. And when you say 10 years to somebody, to an artist, it sounds like a jail sentence. They don't want to hear 10 years. They want to hear 10 months. They want to hear where I'm gonna be.
10 days. Right.
Yeah, 10 days. They don't want to hear 10 years. And you can, I have those. I talk to those. Hey, listen, we can do it this way. We can do it this way. Which one you want to do? I ain't trying to do no fuck. Fuck you talking about. How long? Fuck out of here, nigga. I don't need you for that. I'll go do that myself.
I beg to differ, Mac. I feel like these kids have much more of an understanding on how to grow their fan base than the labels do at this point.
I agree. Because it's happening, then all they doing is going to labels and asking for a distribution deal.
The topsy-turvy is you now have, because independence looks sexy, you now have kids on that vibe, and you're not wrong. But when it's time to do the unsexy job, they're not here for that part.
I don't think they even looking. I don't even think they looking at that. Like,
that's because they don't see it till it happens.
Think about this: you got Little Baby. He just sold 9,000 albums. These kids that's coming off the street, they doing more than that independent. So they looking at the number now, right? The game changed. The internet changed a lot of things. Right? The streaming, the way streams and albums are calculated, changed a lot of things.
Lil Baby will still do a show for 30 bands. You dig what I'm saying? It ain't the same.
I think that there's more independent.
You're looking at sales. He's looking at streams. He's looking at shows. He's looking at collabs. He's looking at all kinds of publishing is ridiculous. Like, okay, so I only sold 9,000. So what?
But who wants to sign to a label and be in the hole the rest of their career?
If you're no one, unless you're in a hole now.
I don't think that these independent artists is in the hole like you think they are.
It's not where I think they are. It's where they see themselves as. How many artists have you tried to convince that they're in a good spot when they think they're not?
I don't try to convince artists.
Then we're having a different conversation, because I do. I try to tell them, bro, you're actually in a really good position right here. Like, independently, you're doing good. There's a way that you don't owe nobody nothing. If you do this right now, stay solid, in a little minute, You know, it's gonna be a minute, but you might catch fire, something might happen. We might be able to get you popping. Yo, they don't want to hear that shit from me.
Who's the artist?
There's a bunch of them, man.
Name. Come
I'm
on,
not naming
y'all
them.
start saying names, God damn it.
Why would I do that?
Because we need we need points of reference.
Why would I?
Because everything is hypothetical. So
That's exactly
it's
what
not
he
throwing
wants me to
people
do.
under the bus, but it's giving an example. Like, okay, we talk about the industry and what it can do for artists. How many artists have we seen come out of nowhere, independent, blowing the fuck up, and then the labels are forced to run after this artist and change their whole moniker on how they do business?
Okay, name me those names.
Soulja Boy.
That was mostly back in the day.
That was
back in the day. It was like that.
50 Cent.
That, bro, we still in the 90s. I'm talking about like now.
I'm just naming artists that came along and made the label say, okay, we have to do something different now.
50 was signed before he blew up.
No, at the time that 50's mixtapes were going crazy, he was not signed.
He had just gotten dropped from the label in, but he was already.
What was
But
that
no, the label had nothing to do.
Power
He got
Dollar
he
was
got
already
shot.
a thing.
He got shot. He got dropped. There was a good year and change before he emerged against.
Power of the Dollar was already a
What about
thing.
A-Boogie?
His name was already out.
No, Power of the Dollar didn't come out.
I didn't say it
while he
came
was
out. I
signed.
said it was a thing. I said it was already a thing.
But Nipsey was independent for a while, right?
Nipsey stayed independent.
No, he didn't.
He went over there with Jay, right?
No, he actually took a situation for Victory Lap.
That's not that stayed independent throughout its entire run. He's actually a good example of what you're talking about. Them running after him because of how well he was.
Yeah,
doing.
Right. So
He's a good example of what you're
So this is what I'm saying. Like,
that's one dude with his whole neighborhood behind him and access to resources that most kids don't believe they have and don't have the patience to cultivate. If they learned more patience, and just so you don't think I'm dumping on the artist, the problem with the executives is just what she said earlier. They play a numbers game. And numbers can and will be fake, number one. Number two, putting numbers on the board so your stockholders can see that you're doing well doesn't mean that the music is good. This is what happens when it's too much business and not enough culture. You start pushing out shit that's moving,
right,
but it don't last.
But it don't last. It's
It
doing
don't
numbers
last.
right now, and the reason it
Welcome
could
to
be
radio.
doing numbers is
Welcome to
people
radio.
are amazed that someone put this trash out. And then y'all go pick them up and be like, hey, yeah, this is hot right now. No, people are laughing at this shit.
But you got people sitting in these chairs who don't care about the music at all.
And that's the problem.
It's like the 5th most important thing on these guys' list. Dead ass.
And
so what's on their list?
Your social media, your personal social media, your ability, your reach, right?
Right.
How much money are you bringing in now? Before they even think about offering you a deal, what money are you bringing in? What kind of controversy are you in the mix of, right? That's the other thing. And that goes under social media presence. But your talent, your ability to make music, like your algorithm. Excuse me, not your algorithm. Your Spotify numbers, your numbers on the DSPs.
I recall Q-Tip sitting in this room saying he tried to get so many labels. Well, I don't know if it was multiple, but he went to one label in particular with Megan Thee Stallion, and they said that her Instagram numbers wasn't high enough.
Mm-hmm. And they offered her peanuts.
You look at where she is now, and it's like, this is what
somebody should have got fired.
Yeah, somebody should have got fired.
Somebody should have got fired.
A lot of people are getting fired though. A lot of people are getting fired. And I don't mean to smile at people. They're probably in harsh predicaments right now because they're like, yo, there is no place to go. Every one of these labels are letting people go.
The guys at the top have made decisions based on finances. And when that happens, the people under them suffer. There's a lot of people at labels who do great jobs, who do great work, who do exactly what it is they're supposed to do, and for the benefit of the artist. They're not in there to see. One thing I remind artists all the time, if you're with a label, it doesn't behoove the A&R or the manager to see you fail. That doesn't make them look good. That's not a good look on their resume. If you fail, if you flop, that don't look good for them. They're not here to see you lose.
Unless they signing you to tie you up.
That's a different story.
That does happen.
That's a different and you're right. But what I'm seeing, the trend that I'm seeing is these guys are grossing numbers, more numbers than they did last year. There's something like 11 billion they grossed. but they cut 60% of the staff. But the guys up top found a way to keep the money. So now everybody's cashing out. All these dudes is jumping ship, cashing out because like, well, fuck it, the bubble's about to burst.
So when you see the labels in 5 years,
different, very different. I think because no one gets tired of good music.
but do you need a label to hear good music?
The label will be different. It won't be what it is now. It'll still be a label. You call it something else. Like you can switch the name. They've switched the name up a bunch of times. I got a distro deal. I got this. I got that. At the end of the day, it's still a label. Somebody putting your shit out and somebody paying the money to do X, Y, Z, A, B, and C that you can't do.
I feel like the labels crippled themselves by creating a pay-for-play situation with most of these streaming platforms, the DJs, the radios. And now that, things are not making as much money as, maybe these artists are not selling the same way, or they're not picking up the right artists. Now they're bankrupting themselves, kind of figuring it out like, yo, shit, we got to pay this. We done set the standard that this is how things get hot, and now we can't afford to do it.
Money grabs kill culture.
Yeah.
Money grabs are always going to be the thing that kills.
Money grabs.
Every scheme that you have to grab bread quick, up front, off the top, none of that shit ever trickles back down to the artist. Or even the people who are working hard for the artist. I got 4 people in the room doing the job, and I cut a third of the staff. Now it's one guy doing 3 other people's jobs. Now the artist suffers. The guy that we're trying to get hot, he suffers off the rip. He's taking that.
But the business model has changed. So I think like even when we start talking about streaming, right? I still don't know. Like how many streams does it take for you to make 0.01 cents?
I think it's
and it's crazy.
Biggest scam.
And until there's legislation,
big scam,
where artists will go and understand,
right.
Hey, we got to figure this out.
Someone's actually pushing for that, for each stream to be worth 1 cent.
Right, because what is it worth now? Like 0.0000.
I don't know. Was that passed?
Guru gave us the.
Was it passed?
No, I don't think it has passed yet. Guru gave us the map when he came in here. He told us why it cost what it cost.
That's highway robbery, though.
Yeah, but that's the biggest problem, right? In terms of
when you say it's robbery,
how you're generating income, how that has changed for artists, right? I mean, obviously, touring is still a big part of the artist's income, but like the streaming.
They got to change that. I mean,
they got to fix that.
With the streaming companies, you don't have to buy an album no more. I'm just going to listen to your album.
That's part of the money grab.
And listen, I know that they charge me multiple times a month. Every time I look, it's like $5.99 for your Apple Music, $5.99, $5.99. I'm like, why is it charging me again?
But you can listen. See, they probably have to change how much you can listen to with these plans too, because
because if they do that, they're afraid that people are going to back out, and that becomes a different thing. But again, when you make any industry top heavy, when the people at the top are getting all the money and hoarding all the bread, and they want bonuses, and they got golden parachutes, and they got this setup, that setup, they got health, dental. The artists don't have health and dental. The artists don't have health insurance, none of that other shit. All the money stays at the top. Whenever that happens, now you start making moves to keep more money in your pocket, which is what any business is supposed to do. The problem is the art suffers. Okay, I can manufacture vinyl, right? I can manufacture CDs. I can manufacture tapes. I can have all that shit made, right? Or I can make music completely intangible. And now the only cost is what it costs to make, what it costs to record, but not I don't have to do any of that other shit.
I seen Meek Mill make a post and try to figure out direct to consumer, right? And I see a New York artist actually do it, Shooter 93. He don't stream his music. I'll be like, yo, bro, why don't you put it on stream? No, they got to buy it from me directly.
Ryan Leslie was talking that shit years ago.
Now I'm seeing a lot of artists.
Ryan Leslie was talking that shit years ago.
Ryan Leslie actually created an app where you can go direct to consumer. Consumers, whoever's following you, they download this app. They become, they're able to sell your music to their friends and get PC off of it.
Yeah, you spoke about
that's fire.
That was years ago.
That was like a decade and a half ago.
Remember when they auctioned off the Wu-Tang album? Remember that?
To the farmer, bro.
Right. So
and he paid what, 10 million? 10 million?
7 million, I think he said.
I forgot how much it cost him.
Did anyone ever hear it?
No, he heard it.
He heard it. And
that's
he probably played it for friends.
But that's what artists, that's how you kind of adjust to the changing of it? I mean,
The-
granted, no one heard it. Who knows what it was like?
The problem is that's again. I feel like I'm talking too much. That's a one-off, and it took a legendary rap group, like an iconic rap group like Wu-Tang, to pull that off once. You can only do it once. The guy who's coming up, the youth that we need to carry this culture forward, they can't do that. That won't sustain them, and they got real life bills. Like not like Wu doesn't, but they don't have millions at play. Their catalog isn't generating money that sustains them throughout the year. So they have to make different steps. They have to take different adjustments. And sometimes a label is a part of that.
I'm a labor advocate. I believe they should just boycott the industry, direct to consumer, straight to their fans, and that's that. Why? No streaming platform. They see the best bang for their buck.
And then someone would monopolize that by controlling where you
wherever
can hear
the platform.
music.
I mean, yeah, that'll probably happen unless you do it out your trunk or something.
If it's digital, somebody's gonna steal it. That's what Napster was all about. The albums were just there. Next thing you know, labels and everybody was losing money left, right, and center. But that always happens when somebody figures out a better mousetrap. I made my way around this other shit. I don't have to make an album and sell it to you hand to hand when I could just have it existing on your computer.
I want to know, are the artists shown the actual streams?
Yes.
They are?
No, but they're not showing the demographics. They're not shown.
But how can you believe
the intricate information that you need?
No, it depends. It depends on what. No, there are portals for every artist has a portal that you can go in and see where they're streaming your shit. It has if the thing is accurate, the age of the person who's streaming your shit. Like you can see. That's how they know where to go tour at. I just took an artist up to Pandora. They showed him all the places he's doing this, all the places where he's spinning. The weirdest one was he was in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington, he was hot.
Yeah.
Now he had to go to Pandora to get this information?
No, he didn't have to. But as we were meeting with the Pandora rep, this is one of the main things they break out for you. Okay, let's see, as we're having this conversation, let's see, here's some things, and maybe here's a couple. But we only got to that point because he put certain amount of numbers on the board, and it warranted that conversation.
See, I think that type of information everyone should have access to.
You do. If you're signed up to DSPs, if you sign up to a distribution, they have portals that make this information available to you. The portal, in other words, is you sign in, here's my name, here's how much I sold, where I sold it at, what kind, blah, blah, blah. And some, like I said, Pandora had the map. So as he spun the computer around, I got it on my phone now to show you.
Now, is there a promotion package for Pandora?
What do you mean?
Like there is for Spotify?
I'm sure everybody's got one.
Now, again, pay for play. Pay for play. This is the thing that disturbs me the most because it's like, all right, I could be a better artist, but someone can pay more money and get more streams.
What you're looking at is
how does it come back over?
You're looking at the digital street team. Think of it in terms of street teams. If I could afford to hire a street team back in the 90s, I could get my name buzzing and I could pass you. If you could afford to hire that street team, you do it too. Now, is that pay for play, or am I paying to advertise my shit?
No. But here's the difference. The street team, they can go to people and they can be like, "Yo, check this out," but it's still on the people. But when we have an app that will automatically play your song for someone who's never heard of you, someone who might be listening to some other shit that don't even have nothing to do with your music. When you have an app that can manipulate the play like that, that's dangerous.
It's the same principle though. The technology has improved, but the principle is still the same.
It's not the same when
I don't agree.
If you're supposed to be paying me for streams, how am I paying you for streams now? Like,
I'm paying.
That's kind of crazy.
I'm paying you to put my music, and it's not necessarily the song.
You're talking about visibility,
right? So how do I ever beat a label with that?
You
can't.
You
dig
don't.
What I'm saying?
Which is part of why.
Unless my uncle is Jeff Bezos or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to beat these motherfuckers?
Part of why they're starting to fail now, because a lack of competition kills the need for any kind of innovation. If I got it locked up and you can't beat me, I don't have to learn how to fight you. You'll never win. So I don't have to get any better. So when somebody better comes along, I'm going to get my ass whipped. And that's kind of what you're seeing now. they're not making enough money to sustain this animal that they've created. You can't keep feeding this fucking elephant in the room that's just gotten the size of the fucking room.
Well, is it that people are not listening to music anymore, or is it that they're gravitating more towards the independent?
They're just finding different ways to do it, and the ways that they found to do it don't profit the artist. And the business model is to keep as much money to themselves as possible.
So then it's no longer up to us then, the people. Right?
Not true.
People are always in front.
Just stay independent.
But the fans...
I'm talking about they're controlling the streams and stuff like
the
that.
The fans' attitudes towards a lot of shit comes into play. It's a multifaceted issue. Okay. Because now you also have fans who will look at you and tell you, if you don't have an ad on Spotify, you're not popping, I'm not fucking with it. Right? There's a lot of fans who move like that. There's a lot of people who will tell you, if you're not on the radio, the fuck is we doing? That was in the night. You ain't on the radios, fuck out of here. You ain't popping, you ain't hot. I ain't checking for that shit. You ain't on the radio. You ain't got a video on MTV? Man, fuck out my face. We talking about you still in the streets.
Especially
you ain't doing shit.
On the mixtapes. Like back then, it was like you have to be on the mixtapes.
But here's the thing:
you ain't on
there were DJs that charged you for it, and then it was DJs like shout out to DJ White Owl. Matter of fact, rest in peace, DJ White Owl. I never met him. I woke up one day, my man was like, "Yo, you on this White Owl mixtape, and your song is #1, and it's a 50 Cent mixtape, and your song is #1." He just loved the record. When, rest in peace, Keyz, when he passed away, I said, New York is in trouble. Because now shout out to Flex, he had the Thursdays that he was playing new music, but it didn't stick the same. You dig what I'm saying?
Slayer hang out with you. Slay was different.
Slay was shouting out all the jails.
Slay was in the streets, period.
So Slay was an anomaly.
Slay was different.
Slay was different amongst other DJs. Right. That's why his loss was such a big fucking L. Yo, we talked about that for days up there when Slay passed. Right. Because some of us knew what kind of chasm that man's death was gonna leave on this business. Niggas don't give it up like he did.
Yeah, I mean,
don't do that shit like that.
I remember having conversations with people about Slay's death that were the same people coming to me saying, "Give me 5,000, I can get this DJ to play your shit." You know what I'm saying? And it just hit different. It hit real different. Listen, for everybody that loves that, we got the joint that we playing on the beginning. So special. Fire. For everybody that loves that we put the music on the beginning of the shit, please continue to play the music, stream the music, because I'll be honest with you. We built this platform and, we talk about music all day long. If I'm gonna put my music any place, it's gonna be here with the people that know me and the people who appreciate me. Right. So for all the haters that be in the comments saying that shouldn't be there, fuck you niggas. Yeah, go pay $5,000 to fucking DJ to get a spin like 3 times a week. Fuck you. We gonna keep this shit over here. We gonna keep this shit going.
Yeah, MECC gonna be on the remix that's so special.
Facts. MECC got bars, y'all. MECC got bars.
I'm gonna be beatboxing.
All his songs is dissing rappers.
I'm gonna beatbox the whole time.
Don't have me tell the story. Don't have me tell the story.
Tell the story. Tell the story.
So I'm working at the source.
Right.
Come on.
You was working. Wait. Don't go. No. Tell her anyway. Tell her anyway.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Ha! Yeah, I'm so special. I'm so special. I'm so special, so special, so special. I'm like Ichigo, master in a red suit. This my Bankai form, I'm about to let loose. Better make your next move, your best move. Straight out the gate, niggas gon' hate and try to test you. Watch who you with, who your mans, who you next to. If you take a hit with son assist like a nephew,
you can never check us. Homie, this a chess move. Wrote this on a little short bus, I'm so special. If Mav say get him, I'ma get him. Ain't no talking when I pull up. Park up, hop out, run down with my hood up. Now what the fuck are you hating for? Can't DFG get money anymore?